Jack, just wondering, I hope you're well, first of all.
Good, David, you?
Yeah, nice to speak to you again. I'm just wondering, you spoke of the pain of the disappointment at Hampden. Has that subsided somewhat?
Well, it has to, David, because we've obviously got a really important league game right away tomorrow evening, and then a number of important fixtures obviously over the rest of the season. So the pain was acute, and it maybe takes a little bit longer than normal for it to subside in the back of another defeat. But I think I said in this post-match as well, you have to put it aside. You have to refocus again and use it as motivation to have success this season.
You don't have much time to refocus. That was Saturday. Here you go again tomorrow.
Yeah, it's been like that for us all season so far, and it's going to continue to be the case. Obviously, the fixture calendar is more congested between the commitment to league and cup fixtures and players with international duty that we've had in the past. We've had a quick turnaround in preparation for a lot of games and travelling, etc. So this spell we're in, we knew we were on the road a lot. We knew we faced a lot of challenging games, but we were prepared for it. And it's finding the balance as always between how the players are allowed to rest and recover, and then how they prepare properly for tomorrow night's game. But we're well used to it so far.
It's tight between the two of you up there, battling. Maybe it's unfair to say battling for third spot. But Aberdeen, their 2 defeats have come at home this season. Does that give you a wee bit of extra hope, perhaps?
I think that probably more than that is our away form. I think that's something we can take a lot of confidence from. Our away form in general has been very good this season. Away performances have been very good. We've already been to difficult venues and won games. This is at the moment out with the top 2 in the league. It's the most difficult venue you can go and visit in terms of the level that the opposition have performed at this season. And I know the club hasn't had a great recent history at that venue as well. So it's something that we need to put right, but we feel we're capable of doing so. We know it's a challenging game, but equally I think we've proven to date over league and cup fixtures that we're a good side, and when you're a good side, I think you deserve to approach the game with confidence.
Jack, does this game give you a chance to show where you believe Hibs should be and put aside all the disappointment of last weekend?
I think it allows us a very quick opportunity to re-energise again. I mean, we have longer term ambitions anyway, and I've spoke often enough about one of them being reaching the last stages of the cup and then trying to go on and win it. So we've fallen short in that respect, but because of how the world has been in recent times, we now have 2 more opportunities in cup competitions this year, and an ongoing opportunity in the league to finish in the upper part of it and in a position that will ensure European football for us. So that's been clear in our targets for the season, and should we win on Friday, then all it is just continuing in that progression towards doing that. So I don't think it's a gauge for us in terms of where we're at, because I think we've shown so far where we sit in amongst the league and what we're capable of doing. But it's one of those games that you highlight in the fixtures because we know where the 2 teams are at the moment. We know that it's highly likely that we're going to be competing with Aberdeen to finish in that area of the table.
Hi Jack. We obviously learned of the sad news that Kevin and his family have been through this week. Can I just ask how tough a decision it was as your manager to play him last week, and whether you had any sort of concerns about that, just given what the sort of traumatic experience he's been through?
I think first of all, Kevin has played all season with concerns over his father's health. I think he touched on that. So I've been aware of that, and him and I have communicated regularly to see where he's at and how he feels. And obviously, when when his father's health deteriorated last week, we had further conversations about where he was feeling. And I think there was a combination of factors. One, what my eye was telling me in terms of where he was at, and then 2, how he felt about it. The one thing I did stress to him, and I guess touched upon that there would have been if he had chosen or made the decision not to play in the game, I would have been absolutely fine with it. Likewise, I think he'd have understood if I felt he wasn't in the right frame of mind to play. But I think between us, we felt as if it was the right thing to do, and I certainly think his performance in the game merited that decision. But it's been a challenging period for him. He's a very young man in to lose his father at that age and then subsequently deal with the responsibility that will follow is challenging for him. But he's handled it, and I think he'll take strength from it as well.
I mean, you often see footballers, they have to take a lot of stick at times and all that. But I mean, is this, perhaps sort of an eye-opener for fans and things like that? Just the sort of things that players have to go through in their own personal life whilst trying to perform on the pitch?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose nowadays the level of communication that's out there and the platforms that are afforded for information to come out relatively quickly means that maybe there's a greater understanding that what people that are perceived to be in the public eye go through, because it's exactly the same as every other person. I don't think it necessarily will change people's strength of opinion at times on player, manager, coaches' performance. But I think sensible people have always understood that they will go through the same challenges as everybody else, and sometimes when things like that are made public, then it does make people take a little bit of a step back and say that there's always things going on in people's lives. This is the most, or Kevin's example was the most severe of them, but there are, I've managed now 200 plus games, and I could tell you countless occasions of players that have had things going on in their personal life that are challenging for them in relation to families, and we don't always see that. But I think, as I said, it's maybe just a reminder that these things do happen and players are affected by them.
Do you have to, I mean, obviously the news is out now, but this is going to be an ongoing thing that over the next few weeks and months that you're going to have to, put an arm around him and just make sure he's coping okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that what he's went through in the last few months is, I'm not saying it's more challenging, but that's a tough period. When we had the news of his father's passing, I think that there is an element of not closure, but I think his father had obviously had this illness. But at the moment, obviously, we have the ongoing period between that and when he's laid to rest, and because that's obviously a bit longer at the moment as well. So it doesn't really change my responsibility, because my responsibility to my player in good times and in bad times is to make sure that they're in the right possible frame of mind. So the good thing for me is I haven't to behave any differently. It's just the conversations I've had to have with him have been different, and it's just being conscious all the time of how he's coping with things. But certainly this week, he's been upbeat, and that, I don't mean that in a flippant way. He's looked okay, which is encouraging for us.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you.
I know you just touched on it a wee bit there, but does that not just show the strength of character he's got? Like, nobody could ever have predicted he's going through something like that, given the way he's played this season.
Yeah, as I said, I've known him for quite a long time, and I think that through that period he's continued to train properly and play to a good level in matches. And when I've had a conversation with him, I've got 20 years on Kevin, and I think those 20 years teach you a lot of things, and you can gain strength from that. How I would have coped at his age, I don't know. So I think the fact that he's been able to deal with it and still produce positive results is testament to his strength of character. And he's shown that with his career progression. And I do think in the fullness of time, this is something that will strengthen his resolve even further to continue his upward path in the game. And as I said, I don't think for 1 second that affected his performance level last week. I think he went out and produced a good performance under those circumstances.
Just on heading into the next international break, could potentially sit second in the league. Is that just a testament to how far your teams came this season?
Well, it's a brilliant incentive for us. We know going into Friday night's fixture because of the way the games go over the weekend, and Derek will have the same motivation about where it can take them in the league. But it's a brilliant carrot for us to have, particularly in the back of last weekend. I think to have such an incentive right away is a big one. So we let the players settle a little bit, but we've ramped it up towards the end of the week, and we go tomorrow trying to go and win the game, knowing that it will take us into a really healthy position, as you mentioned, going into a break from league action again.
You could go second, Jack, but what would it do to you and your team psychologically to win away at a big ground like Pittodrie?
I think to begin with, it's just more about achieving another 3 points and keeping that points total going in the right direction. I think when you step back, then you maybe appreciate what it does to continue to grow confidence within the group. But Each and every time we've won away from home this season, I think it's done it. If we go back very early in the season, winning at Livingston at that time, his home record was brilliant. Winning that manner, winning away at Kilmarnock a couple of weeks ago. You know, we won at Kilmarnock 1-0 through a penalty, and I got asked after the game if it was scrappy. The league leaders won their 1-0 with a penalty last week, and were acclaimed for it. We recognised internally how good a result that was for us going to Kilmarnock. So it's the same as going to Pittodrie. You know, to go to Pittodrie and win, you have to be very good and have things falling your way. And then if we do manage that, then we will take similar confidence that we did, for example, at winning at Livingston early season, winning at Rugby Park a couple of weeks ago.
How's the fitness of the squad? Everyone okay from the weekend?
Yeah, obviously the exception of Lewis Stevenson, who'll be out for probably another month to 6 weeks. Scott Allen, obviously longer term absentee, but other than that, we're okay.